Hey everyone, Eagle Falcon here, and well, we're just wrapping up the live letter that had a number. I already forgot it. I think it's 91. It doesn't matter. The point is, a lot of news regarding patch 7.5 has been revealed. We're gonna go over it as quickly as possible, and all of this information comes thankfully from the FF14 Reddit Discord that does have unofficial translations of what was said. Because of course, it's all in Japanese. I don't speak Japanese. You don't either, be honest. We just wish we did, but I digress. First off, before the stream even officially began, they showed off these. And this is something that a lot of people are going to be after. They teased this talking about how a service they're looking into would take a screenshot of, or that you would submit a screenshot of your Warrior of Light, your main character, and that they would go ahead and 3D print and make a figurine of your character, your custom character, which is really, really cool. No word on the cost, when this would be available, but it is something they teased before we got into the meat and potatoes of things. So, very interesting, very curious, especially curious as to what the cost is going to be. And just that this is going to be available possibly officially. I do want to stress that with these kind of early look sort of things, it's also very possible that this was just, you know, we saw this cool thing, we thought it was really cool, look at this stuff, it's pretty neat, but Square is going to officially have nothing to do with it. That is very, very possible, but we'll have to see. They then also showed off a Lalafell figurine. They did mention the cost would probably be less for a Lalafell figurine because it's significantly smaller and needs less detail compared to a Hrothgar or an Elizin or anything like that. But you know, we'll find out more about that maybe later or maybe never. Who knows? With that being said, though, the live letter then officially began showing off, well, our patch art. And officially, our patch is going to be Trail to the Heavens. We can go ahead and overanalyze what that means for the end of time. Even somehow after the patch already came out, we know everything. I'm going to save that for another day. Right now, this is all we know. We know this patch art. We see pretty much all of our current scions, including Estinian, who has been suspiciously missing. Finally seeing Estinian back would be nice. Just saying. So we will wait and see what this all means. They did go ahead and give us a lot of dates. Okay. They did tell us that the MSQ is, of course, going to be split into two parts. Part one is going to be with 7.5 launch. That's going to be on April 28th. That should be 4 days after the Fan Fest. That part two will be, quote, early September, which, according to the power of dates and math, is either going to be September 1st or September 8th. And speaking of the power of math and calendars, we're going to go ahead and actually decipher quite a few dates real quick, because they went ahead and told us basically f***ing everything. Patch 7.5 is going to be April 28th, shortly after FanFest, which is going to be 24th to 25th. Patch 7.51 is going to be later than we expect. Normally the 0.51 is 2 weeks after 0.5. So if they drop our ultimates on 7.51 like they usually do, that is 4 weeks from patch to ultimate. Early June, by the way, would put it either on June 2nd or June 9th. I would lean more towards June 2nd, being when we'd expect it. Then our 7.55 is going to be late July, which is going to put that either on the 21st or the 28th. I would probably say the 28th. And then 7.56 is going to be that September 1st or September 8th that I mentioned earlier. And that's when we expect the second half of the MSQ. The weird thing here is the fact that normally we would get the second half of the MSQ as well as Hildebrand, as well as any other stuff that we normally wait on during during X.55. This time it looks like it might be 5.6. So the actual flow as to when we're going to get stuff might be more staggered out. We might not get Hildebrand until September. And we might be getting our Beastmaster and whatnot in July. It's hard to say right now. So the staggering out is going to be a bit more through April, June, July, and September. We'll just have to wait and see how that all exactly goes down. And then, of course, our EU FanFest is going to be right before 7.55 between... Oh, actually, wait a minute. No, we can actually figure out exactly when 7.55 is, because they're saying that it's after FanFest EU. FanFest EU is 25th, 26th. That would put 7.55 on the 28th. All right, we know when that one is. Easy peasy. Done. So we know that one now. Of course, we're going to get MSQ, which we've been teased about a little bit here. I'm not going to go into too much detail as to what I think. I'll save that for another time, another video. But, you know, all we got was basically pictures of the key, going back to talk to the Loporits, staring up at the moon. There's... who knows? I don't want to speculate too much here. We just want to go over what's coming rather than get into in-depth lore. We are going to be getting our Dawn Trail Allied Society capstone quest. So if you have already gotten Bloodsworn with all of your Allied Societies for Dawn Trail, you'll be able to do this right away. And then most likely that's going to have like a trophy and then an emote or something. You know, kind of a nice little way to just cap that all off. I still need to do mine. Don't feel bad. And then on top of that, of course, we have our Hildebrand. Not telling us a whole lot about that. Gave us a picture of Ooglips, some zombies, all that fun jazz. New custom deliveries are also coming in the form of T-Solja, which I have no idea where she's at, but apparently she has something to do with tacos. Good luck. Duty support that is going through the dungeon with NPCs instead of real people is coming to Dusk Vigil and the Shisui Violent Tides, which I am actually a little sad about this one, because the fact that they are reapproaching Shisui of the Violet Tides, there is one pull that is notorious within Shisui where you go ahead and pull all the mobs between boss 1 and boss 2, and it was a true test of your tank's ability to manage mitigation and your healer's ability to compensate for the fact that your tank cannot manage mitigation. It was fun. I enjoyed doing it every time. It was great to see who passed, who failed. It was a true test of dungeoning. You know they're gonna split that pull. You know they're gonna put up a new wall. And I'm gonna be super sad about it. But it is what it is. I can either grope about it for the end of time, or I can live with it, and I choose to live with it. PvP, of course, new series begins. This includes new rewards. You have until the new patch to finish your PvP battle pass, which you probably feel a bit mid on because the mount this time around is very odd. But if you want that, quickly start doing front lines. Just go through the suffering. It's okay. There'll be new action adjustments, as there always are, and a new Crystalline Conflict Arena, which they gave us a tease on. And it appears to be Sharlayan based. The actual arena is called the Archia Harmonious, which I have most likely mispronounced. And quite frankly, I don't care. It's very, very, very clearly Sharlayan library coded. What's all going to be included, we don't know yet. Line of sighting was mentioned multiple times when talking about this. So I assume it's going to be core mechanics for a lot of what's going to go on, not just for maxing out what you can do in PvP, but also for handling the mechanics themselves. And then we got to look at our dungeon. I don't know what to think of this dungeon. It looks, at first glance, like garlic mold. Just straight up, it looks like garlic mold. But it's called the Cladium. Or the Slidium. I don't know how they're gonna pronounce it and ruin me. I've given up on pronouncing things after they told me it's pronounced Rugadin. So, you know, go figure that one out. However, I very quickly looked at the architecture within Garlemald. This does not match what is in Garlemald. My first instinct is that we're going somewhere other than Garlemald. Now, what even tells me more that this isn't Garlemald is that Yoshibi even mentioned, I thought Garlemald calmed down, but things are burning, so what's going on? And you always had a dark impression of Garlemald since ARR, questioning how people even lived there. They're hinting a lot this is Garlemald. I don't think it is. Or if it is a past vision of Garlemald before the Empire truly rose to power, because we don't even have banners with the Garlean symbols on it. The symbol on it is just a single diamond. So, I mean, it could still be garlic mold, but right now we just don't know. But I'm leaning more towards it probably isn't. And then, of course, they gave us a look at the third and final turn in our 24-man that is themed around FF11. And that is going to be Echoes of Vana'diel Part 3. Windurst, the third walk, which they also teased Shantoto, which means you're f***ed. You're dead. I mean, that's just it. Your character is going to perma-die here. Shantoto's just going to come around and delete you, and she's going to laugh while doing it. That's just what she does. Now, my chat during this was talking all about like, oh, does she remember what she did in the past? Oh, does she remember all the tie-ins within? Keep in mind, everything in the Echoes of Vana'diel series has been reconstructed constructs from Electrope done by a different wizard. These are not the actual in-canon characters from Vana'diel. They are recreations. So the answer is no. No, they do not remember any of that. If they do, something super f***y is going on. So we'll have to wait and see how that all goes down. And they showed off quite a bit. They showed off this tree that looks definitely very big tree. If I knew FF11, I'd go, oh my god, it's the big tree. But I never played FF11. So I go, oh, that's a big tree. They did also comment during the actual things that Yoshi-P was actually dragged away to look at how high detailed the ground is. And granted, a still image doesn't capture the amount of detail that goes into a lot of it, because if it's like affected by the wind or it sways back and forth, that adds a lot more to the feel of it than just a still image. So we'll have to wait and see. They then showed us our trial, and that is Inuo, which I'm not gonna lie, I don't know who that is at all. I played a lot of Final Fantasy. I don't know who that is, where he came from, or anything, which is why I'm going to go ahead and Google him up right now. Inuo is a historical figure in the FF5 lore. He was an immortal and evil warlock from 1,000 years before Final Fantasy V, who sacrificed ... who sacrificed his immortality for the power to control the void. And wait, is that the actual name of Exdeath? But the void cannot be erased, and it was sealed away in the interdimensional rift. As such, 1,000 years later, Exdeath sought the power that Inuo had once possessed and released the void. Inuo has appeared in a super boss in the sealed temple in some versions of the game, introduced in Final Fantasy V Advanced. Oh, interesting. So he's an FF5 super boss. Huh. Very, very interesting. Okay, so yeah, that's where he's from. FF5 coded. Interesting seeing as how most of our trials have been FF9 coded. So yeah, we're stepping away from that. And then of course, new Unreal, it's Shinryu. Who's surprised? No one is surprised. Your boyfriend is back. Moving on. We did get a tease of our ultimate. It is TV Static the Fight. So clearly, if you loved Egdistis from Savage, and you loved having your brain go completely numb until the last 2 minutes of the fight, where all the things happen back to back with the harvest of death, war, and famine and whatnot, that is clearly going to be the fight. Okay, in all seriousness, we were told nothing. We're literally told nothing. We were given TV static and then just given all question marks. They're going to tell us more during the live letter, which by the way is going to be before FanFest. There is not going to be a live letter at FanFest. No live letter at FanFest. And then you know, they moved on. We got our look at the final step of the Phantom weapons. Of course, Yoshi said a lot of work went into these. Please look forward to them. And they gave us a quick look in a still screenshot at the Dancer fans that are going to be our last step relic, as well as the Viper ones. And they look pretty good. They did not very suddenly become sci-fi. They didn't very suddenly become weapons stolen from Star Ocean or anything like that. You know, all is good, all said and done. So, I mean, you know, not gonna lie, these look pretty good. Are these gonna be the two best ones and everything else is gonna look like crap? I don't know. Probably not. Because if that was the case, they would have shown off Warrior every time. So, we'll have to wait and see how that all goes down. Of course, the North Horn of Occult Crescent is shown. This is going to include all the new things. New monsters, new critical encounters, new fates, all that sort of jazz. Your maximum knowledge level is going to increase from 20 to 40. There's going to be new Phantom jobs, and I mean, I can tell you what they all are just from these pictures. We're going to get Black Mage, Dragoon, White Mage, Ninja, Summoner, Blue Mage, Red Mage, and Necromancer. That is the 8 they have shown here. They did not straight up tell us. I want to be clear. They did not tell us that those 8 I just mentioned are the new jobs. However, they showed us Black Mage, Dragoon, White Mage, Ninja, Summoner, Blue... wait, no. Black Mage, Dragoon, White Mage, Ninja, Summoner, Blue Mage, Red Mage, and Necromancer. So, I mean... yeah. It feels pretty obvious what it's going to be. I'm just saying. There might be more, of course, but we don't know yet. There's, of course, also going to be a new Fork Tower. That is going to be both driven by normal. There's going to be a normal variant and an extreme variant, which is what Fork Tower Blood should have been, but wasn't. Whatever. Up to 48 people can participate, both normal and extreme. Extreme is probably going to require more closer to the 48-man cap. Normal, kind of like with DLL and other such things in the past, will scale based on how many people go in, most likely. They didn't say that specifically, though. To get in for normal difficulty, no ciphers will be required. You can simply just stand on top of the ethereal node to be registered for your instances in the duty. If more players can enter the duty than are on top of the node, participants can be selected at random. Should you fail to be selected, your entry will be given priority. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, pretty similar to how DLL worked, or yeah, CLL. I'm sorry, or was it DLL? I can't remember. The extreme variant also will require no ciphers. Extreme difficulty can be accessed from the extreme mode only instance, separate from the normal instance. The extreme instances can be entered by alliances of 12 or more. So you will be able to very, very, very much kind of isolate yourselves if you're going with a pre-made group. So they are getting it right this time. Hopefully. On paper, they are, at least. So, you know, it sounds good. We'll see how it actually behaves in actual, you know, practice. There will be new gear available on the North Horn. You'll have to collect various items to enchant gear and upgrade your equipment. If you have the gear from South Horn, you may skip some of the steps required to enhance gear from the North Horn. Makes sense. Makes some sense. But it also makes it sound like that you don't need the old gear to get the new gear. All right. They then took a break, and then they showed off the next thing. Everyone's been looking forward to this. This is Beastmaster, the new limited job. They teased us 2 years ago, and now it's finally here. And they have been cooking. It is going to be pretty much as we kind of suspected. You are going to be capturing beasts. You can call upon them to fight at your side, and your weapon is going to be a one-handed axe. You are going to be a melee DPS. You start at level 1, but what no one expected is that your level cap will be 50. It's not going to be 80. It's not going to be 90. It's 50. Job quests will be available to explain how the job works at launch. This is also when they announced one of the most disappointing things in the entire live letter. Blue Mage is not getting an update this expansion. Blue Mage update is going to be waiting until 8.0 plus. So to unlock the Beastmaster, this is another big disappointment too. You need a Disciple of War Magic at level 50 or above. That makes sense. You need to have completed the 2.0 main scenario quest. That makes sense. What is disappointing is that you need to be a paying person with Dawn Trail registered. That's disappointing. I'm sorry, it is. It'd be one thing if you know, you just needed to have, like, it'd be one thing if they just like locked out free trials and just said like, all right, you need a bought copy of the game. But to lock it strictly to Dawn Trail, that's rough, man. That's really rough. But I guess It is what it is. I'm disappointed, but I get it. My disappointment will just continue. You will go ahead and capture beasts by weakening them first, Pokemon style, and currently up to 50 different types of beasts can be tamed. The way this is going to be done is through a bestiary that they show later on. They then showed off some screenshots, a Coral that I just had earlier, this Dodo, this Chimera, this Gobu. They also mentioned that all beasts can be captured through solo play. You can call upon tame beasts to walk beside you. Now the bestiary is pretty much just exactly like the Blue Mage spellbook. You can have up to 50. As you unlock certain ones, they're gonna go ahead and unlock their slot in the bestiary. And one thing that's kind of unclear is that they like these monsters appear to have a skill at level 8 and a skill at level 18 and then a skill at level 22. What's unclear to me is if the beasts have a separate level from the Beastmaster themselves, or are these skills you unlock by being that level of Beastmaster? That is very unclear at this time. So we'll have to see how that's all going to go down the road. I accidentally hit the button on my KVM switch and now I have no mouse control. Now, one thing that was actually also really surprising, you can have up to 3 beasts out to accompany you at a time. So one Beastmaster can be their own light party, effectively, kind of, sorta. You'll be using their actions and abilities to fight alongside you. So most likely you have abilities that will change based on what you have summoned. And you will be in full control almost the whole time. Like, you'll have your own skills, and then you'll have all the beast skills. Or you'll have no skills of your own, and you'll just have the beast skills you'll be activating on the side. Kind of, it sounds kind of like Shadowbringer Summoner. But again, we'll have to wait and see how that ends up going. Your tactics in battle will change depending on what beast you have on your side, they say. And then you'll be, quote, using the instinct system to fight in tandem with your beast. Whatever that means. Now, of course, the question becomes, what are you going to be doing with Beastmaster? Because level 50 restricts a lot. Well, they then showed this graphic with what they're calling the Crucible of the Unbroken, which appears to be kind of a Slay the Spire or Cult of Lamb style roguelite sort of encounter. And for those who were wondering the tease that Mr. Ozma, the combat lead, has been working on a secret project, this is it. This is the project he's been working on. So whatever is coming, they have cooked on this for a long time. And it's also why it's taken this long for it, and why Blue Mage is not getting any updates. Because that entire limited job team has been working on this for who knows how long. Yoshbi also said, quote, there will be a lot of rewards. That's a sore spot right now in the community, let me tell you. So they're saying is that Crucible of the Unbroken is a dedicated single player experience that is a completely new type of duty, unlike anything else in 14 so far. Now, I kind of wish there was a multiplayer experience for this. They could go with like 2 or 3 people. But, you know, Beastmaster is able to summon 3 beasts, so it makes sense that you would be your own one-man party. All right, fine. I guess. So they said they'll be showing us more at the next live letter, so yeah, we'll be covering it more there as well. There is a new ocean fishing update that is going to take you through Thavnir. Maybe we'll see Vitra go ahead and bless you with more fish, or he'll scare the fish away, or maybe none of that. We'll see. There were comments made in the chat about increasing level for Chocobo. Yoshimi did mention there will be some stuff about the Chocobo I can talk about soon. You'll have to wait for more. So we'll have to see how that goes down. We did get a look at our next cosmic exploration location, which appears to be crop circles. The planet. Look at them crop circles. Anyway, this place is going to be called Oxexia, which I'm going to call Australia forever. So here on Australia, the planet, everything is overgrown with vegetation. There was a civilization, but that has also been overtaken by vegetation, not unlike current day Australia. However, unlike current day Australia, I don't see any giant spiders ruling over everyone. And there are a whole lot of magical trees, which may or may not be like Australia. I don't know. I've never been there. But the place looks very pretty. Looks very cool. More details about the rewards and content will be talked about during part 2, of course. They did mention there's going to be an update to the Gold Saucer. They can't tell us what it is yet. Wah, wah. Most likely it's going to be a new gate. Now, the housing update. Get ready for this. I am both overjoyed and furious. Absolutely livid and overjoyed. There's going to be an increase on the number of items you can place, both indoor and outdoor. Indoor furnishings, both actual in place and in the storeroom, are being increased by 50%. So smalls go from 200 to 300, mediums go from 300 to 450, larges go from 400 to 600, and apartments and apartment likes go from 100 to 150. Outdoor doubles, 20 to 40, 30 to 60, 40 to 80, and then your storerooms increase the exact same amount. Simple stuff, all right? Cool, great. What about TARDIS housing? This has been the update I have been looking forward to the most. What about the ability to go ahead and change the size of your interior? Yoshimi said we managed to finally get that interior change working that I had been talking about to make your small house have a large interior, but that will be next update, not this time. We also want to update the housing UI. It does feel like only a pro can make use of things right now. Things like floating furniture, more details at a later day. So the update to the UI, huge. Because right now, if you want to effectively house, mods are required. Like, people joke about mods being required for raiding, and it is a joke. I go ahead and raid without mods perfectly fine. And I am a very good player. Okay? You can play this game without mods. You cannot decorate your house without mods. I mean, you can, but it's gonna look like shit. So, update to the UI, long overdue. The fact that we have been teased on TARDIS housing since 7.2 and it's now moving off to 8.0, I am livid. I am furious about this. I'm not even kidding. I am unreasonably upset about this because we have been teased about this for well over a year now. And now we're looking at next year at the earliest. And the worst part is they said it's working. They said they have it ready, but they're delaying it till next patch. Whatever. There's also gonna be new fixtures, which, yeah, that's neat. Yeah, it's a good look. Yeah, I should be more excited about that. I'm just depressed now. I'm going through the 5 stages of grief again over TARDIS housing again. But yeah, they showed off like a modern like drop panel light, which is neat. And then he went ahead and teased, saying the next update is more important than the actual content. This actually is unironically big. The Armoire is being expanded massively to include all job-specific gear, or what we refer to as artifact gear, and all gear from dungeons introduced in 7.x. So all Dawn Trail dungeon gear can go straight into the Armoire, not consume any space in your Glamour dresser. All your job-specific gear, the stuff you just spent 3 hours taking out of your Glamour dresser, combining into a set and putting it back into the Glamour dresser, don't lie, you did it too. All those will be able to be taken out and placed, directly into the Armoire and not consume any space at all. So this kind of leads me to think the end goal is to have the Armoire be the primary place that all your Glamour pieces are stored, and that eventually the Glamour dresser is going to be phased out. That's what it's looking like. I want to stress that is what that's looking like. I have no evidence to support that is what they're planning, but that's what it looks like they are planning, which, yeah, big change. I welcome it. Huzzah, huzzah. Expand the Armoire and get rid of the fact that we need to manage an inventory. Great, fantastic, love it. I'm still bitter about my house. In addition, they are going to be consolidating the dyes into 3 different items that do not have a name. Yoshi said they did have a name, but then at the last minute he said, I hate the name. So they're coming up with a new name. So right now it is type A dye, type B dye, and type C dye. Type A is all the old dyes. Type B is the 9 dyes introduced in Nishgard Restoration, and type C dye is the 11 dyes introduced in Cosmic Exploration. The dye consolidation does not include the super expensive dye from the online store or its corresponding in-game dyes. Those are going to still be separate, but it does mean that your entire retainer or saddlebag of nothing but dyes is going to be consolidated into 3 items. All of your current dye that's about to be made obsolete can be exchanged with a 1-button script from the Calamity Salvager. They did mention that pure white, jet black, metallic silver, metallic gold, pastel pink, dark red, dark brown, pastel green, pastel blue, pastel purple, dark purple, metallic red, metallic orange, metallic yellow, metallic green, metallic sky blue, and metallic purple are going to be exceptions. So there will still be some floating around, but the majority being consolidated for now. Now, as I said, you'll be able to go ahead and consolidate all of them using the Calamity Salvager. Oh, this is the wrong slide. And they'll be turned into the new dyes that are going to be coming out. There will be a 1-button thing you can go ahead and do, and they'll run a process in the background very similar to your repairs. They'll just do it automatically in one go. Good. Huzzah. Huzzah, huzzah. And that is basically it. There was some chatter about new jobs. That's all gonna be at FanFest. What's Yoshi gonna cosplay? That's coming at FanFest. And then, of course, we got the little QVC section where they went ahead and talked about this art gallery that's going to be opening up. You don't care, though. You can go ahead and find that on your own time. They're going to put an announcement about it. This new merch that you're too poor to afford. Don't worry, I am too. This new Primals concert we're not gonna be able to see. Don't worry, I'm right there with you. We'll watch it on YouTube together. This other Primals concert that we won't be able to get to, don't worry, I'll be watching on YouTube. I'll be watching it on YouTube too. 2 new shirts that we might afford, but haven't decided yet. But it is a good design, not gonna lie. I kind of wish that the light one with the cityscape window was also available in black, but I prefer darker shirts. That's just me. There is an Echoes of Andiel crossover event now playable in FF11. You know, it is what it is, with a special event including Fafnir and Kieran. The regional championships are coming. They showed off the trophy for the regional championships. Oh, that regional championships, of course, includes an 18,000 Doctor Who dollar grand prize, as is tradition. And that is pretty much it. So yeah, a lot of stuff kind of shown off. Some quality of life that was a big surprise in this, but for the most part, kind of what we expected in this very backloaded patch. I am grateful that we got dates. We can start planning things. And a little disappointed they didn't tell us what the ultimate is, but they're looking for that big reveal right before FanFest. So we'll talk about more then. If you'd like more news like this, please give a like, subscribe, and I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.